Hey guys, this is Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my special guest is Drew from Profit Monsters. What's going on, Drew?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey man, how are you doing today, man? What's been going on with you?
I'm doing great. Just been working hard, listing a lot, focusing on my business, growing, making YouTube videos, doing
Doing the hustle.
the whole hustle. Right. How about you?
Oh man, time goes by quick, man. It seems like the other day it was Halloween, then it was Thanksgiving, then it was Christmas, and it was New Year's. So time goes by too quickly. But go ahead, Drew, introduce yourself just in case somebody's watching the stream or the live stream and they don't know who you are. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name's Drew. I go by Profit Monsters on YouTube or Drew_Thrifts and Flips on Instagram is where you can find me there. I'm a full-time reseller and a real estate agent. So yeah, that's what I do. I make YouTube videos about it, and I just love sharing my journey with people. So appreciate you guys hanging out and listening.
All right, awesome. So, Drew, first thing I want to cover is because, I have a lot of guests on that are resellers. I don't have a lot of guests on that are real estate agents. So, if you guys don't know, I have a license as a real estate agent in the state of Florida as well, and so does Drew. So, I wanted to ask you a question real quick, and then we'll get into reselling. I wanted to know, how easy is it if somebody has, because some people have this misconception that you have to have a 4-year college degree or you have to have a bachelor's degree or something like that in order to get a license to be a real estate agent. So explain the process. If someone wants to become a real estate agent, how do they go about doing that? Go ahead. I want to put you on full screen.
Sure. So in the state of Florida, at least, there's a class that you have to take, and there's different time frames that you can take it. So it just really depends on what your schedule is. I took the class in 1 week. So from like a Sunday to a Sunday, it was very labor intensive, like 10 hours a day or something like that, 9 hours a day. And yeah, Diamond Ghost, what's up? Cap Guy and Renzi, what's up? Hey, what's up, Ryan and Lindsay? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so I got my license in a week. I passed the class in the first test, and then you got to take a state exam. And on the state exam in Florida, I believe you have to score an 80%, if I'm correct on that, an 80% or higher to pass the state exam, and you need like a 75% for the class exam. So it took me 2 tries, and then I passed the state exam, got my real estate license, hooked up with the brokerage, and started working under that brokerage. And I've been doing that for about 2 years.
Okay, cool. And you're actually working on a real estate deal right now as we speak, right? You said you got one that's possibly pending?
Yeah, so I have a client that we have a pending contract right now, but we just got an appraisal report today, and it came back lower than the agreed contract price. So we are in the process of renegotiating right now and going through that process of trying to make the deal work. So I love that part of it because I'm kind of like a natural salesman. I love that side of negotiations and stuff. That's why I always say counter offer on eBay, because I like the negotiation. I don't just decline if it's a low ball offer. I normally always counter offer. So it's the same thing with real estate. So, but it's just more, detailed and intense.
Yeah, I was gonna say Drew's a haggler. I could just see him being like 2 bulls locked in together with their horns locked in together, trying to haggle and negotiate a deal. So I wanted to say hi to Diamond Ghost in the chat, hanging out with us. The Cap Guy is here. We got Renzi here. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us today. We appreciate you. And Art Vandalay is here. He says, "Hey Jeff and Drew in chat." Hey, Art Vandalay, thanks for coming by. Yeah, guys, it's not as difficult as you think. I went to this class in Tampa when I moved to Florida. It was called Tampa School of Real Estate, and they had a 2-week class, and you would go to class for like 8 hours a day for like 2 weeks straight. Then you take your school exam, then you take your state exam, and then boom, just like that, you get your license. It's not a thing where you have to get $50,000 of student loan debt or something, So I was just bringing that up because Drew was telling me last year in 2020 he had a deal where he made like 10 grand in commission in one day. So we talk a lot about reselling, but I'm just saying there's other ways. There's opportunities where you can make money besides just, buying and reselling. So I wanted to say hi to the Philly Picker is here. Aces are here. We got Bearded Picker in the chat. We got Diamond Ghost. He says, "Do you do wholesaling, REOs? Tell us more." Tell him more, Drew. He wants to know more about. Oh, look who's here. Joey Bada Bing 22 is here. What's up, man? I was just hanging out with you guys in your live listing yesterday. Thanks for coming by. He just said Drew like 3 times.
Renzi, Ryan, and Lindsay, you guys are so funny. You're more than welcome to Airbnb it for free in the shed anytime you want. I'll have the electricity and everything hooked up this week. So anytime you guys want to stop by in Florida, there's a home for you here. But as far as wholesale goes, no, I don't really do any wholesale. Like I'm not really like an investor flipper. I'm like a retail client. I get a retail realtor, I guess you could call it. Like I represent clients that are buying and selling homes. I don't really do much outside of that right now because that's really what I know best. And that's what I've just focused on for real estate, is helping clients buy houses and selling houses for clients. So I don't do any of like the investing, flipping, or anything like that. Once I get more money, like Renzi, for example, their goal is to sell shoes to build up a real estate portfolio. Like I want to get to a point where I want to build up a real estate portfolio. Like the house that I'm currently living in right now, I should have the mortgage paid off by the end of this year. And then I'm going to rent this place out, have it as an investment property for passive income, and then move on to, the next property and kind of keep growing from there. But it's a slow process. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, that's my goal, is to plan everything out, take it nice and easy, and, pay this house off, then rent it out, have passive income, and go from there. So.
Yeah, you froze up for a second, Drew. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, well, there's plenty of ways. I have about 20 investment properties that I bought when I was living in Kentucky, and I didn't get any loans or anything. I just paid cash. So, I mean, when you pay, like I would do it in small deals. Like I'd pay $6,000 for a, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And then we go ahead and rent that house out for $550, $600 a month. It'll take you 10 months to get your money back. And then from that point on it's all profit margins. So I just wanted to get caught up with the chat. We got Joey Bada Bing is here. Drew, he says, Drew, you're good. We got Prison to Profit is here. He says, hey, Drew. Sup, Jeff? Just wanted to drop in and say hi. What's up, Dante? Prison to Profit. We appreciate you being here. Art Vandalay is here. We got Far North Life. Says Ayo with the fire emojis.
That's Anfisa. She's a reseller in Alaska.
I saw her on one of your live listings a couple weeks ago. I was in the chat hanging out. We got Renzi is here. He says, we'll call you the next Joey Bada Bing, with 2 fist emojis. We got the Philly Picker is here, and the Cap Guy. So if you guys have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So Drew, this is what I want to get into, man. I saw your video that you had like $2,000 in sales over the weekend. You want to get into kind of some of the items that you sold, or what it is that you look for in your reselling business?
Yeah, sure. So right now, like the way that I've been working on my business is I've really been focusing on like a couple categories. I've been focusing on hard goods, like electronics and video games, shoes. I've been doing a lot of shoes, and vintage clothing. I've been focusing more on vintage clothing than just regular clothing because it's been selling really good for me. And then just some other bolos that I've seen from other resellers, like for example, Hustlin' Hooks has talked a lot about pots and pans, and so I've been picking those up in my flea market video that I put out right before my What Sold video. I got a bunch of vintage Revereware pots and pans, so that was really exciting. I got some really cool stuff. Sony Mega CD player. I picked one up for $12.99 at a thrift store over the weekend, and then I sold one over the weekend for $140. So turn and burn, baby. That's the name of the game. So, but yeah, I had 30 packages going out for like a total gross sales of about $2,100. So I was pretty excited to share that, and it was my first time doing like a What Sold video pulling sales from the shed. Because I got this new GoPro, so I've been trying to use that more and get used to it, because I'm so used to just doing videos on my phone that trying to change it up. So it took me quite a while to get the video, the shipping, and all that stuff done. But it was overall a really good weekend.
Yeah, I saw the video, man. It looks like you've been killing it. I wanted to say hi to Living a Blessed Life and Improving Daily. He said, yo. And I wanted to say hi to Prison to Profit. We got Thrifty Space Queen in the house. Joey Bada Bing is here, and we got the Far North Life. We got a question here in the chat. It says, how do you see yourself in 20 years from now realistically? Man, that's a tough one there, Drew. What do you say to that?
I see myself a little more bald And
A little bit, yeah, a few more wrinkles, right, a little, yeah,
exactly.
right.
Realistically, I haven't like really set goals for like 20 years. Obviously, I want to be completely debt free by the end of this year, and so obviously, with that being said, it gives me more freedom to do whatever I want once I'm debt free. So I would like to be a traveling reseller. I think that would be really cool. 20 years from now, I should be in a place where my kids are in college, they're doing well, or they're doing whatever they want to do, with their life. They'll be, into the 20s for them. So I won't have to worry about my kids at that point. I mean, not worry about them, but they'll be doing their own thing. And I just want to travel with my wife and, you know, um, doing what I do, man. I have so many plans for the future, with reselling, YouTube, real estate. I have like 3 or 4 other businesses that once I get the capital to start them, I plan on starting some other businesses, which I'm not going to talk about now because they're all in the fetal stage. So, but I start more businesses, grow the YouTube channel. Obviously, hopefully 20 years from now, I'll be doing something that is, making money and, teaching people. I want to be a motivational speaker at some point, obviously with COVID and stuff, that's been tough, but I'd like to do, speaking gigs and stuff like that, teaching people how to make money, how to invest money, how to save money, how to get out of debt. Dave Ramsey, Grant Cardone, those types of people, stuff like that.
Okay, Drew. First, I wanted to say hi to the Cap guy. He says my sales have skyrocketed by listing 25 items a day and doing 4% promoted listings on my entire store and running 10% sales. So that's awesome, Cap guy, man. Just keep hustling, keep listing items, and keep growing your store. I came by and checked your channel out the other day, and he recently hit 600 subscribers. So just keep hustling, man. And like I said, here soon you'll be at 1,000 subscribers for you know it. So just keep hustling. So, Drew, are you there? You froze for a second.
I'm here.
Drew?
Yep,
all right. So, all right, cool. This is what I wanted to ask you. We got to get into it because we kind of glossed over this. You said that you're going to have your house paid off. Is that going to be the end of this year or next year? Like, tell me what's the strategy is behind that. Like, how far away from you getting your house paid off?
So we owe a little less than 40,000 on our mortgage. So my goal is to have that paid off by the end of the year by using my profits from eBay, and hopefully YouTube will pick up, and I can start generating some revenue from YouTube in the future as well, and real estate. So just every extra dollar that I get, I want to start pounding towards debt this year and just paying that off. So yeah, that's the goal, is to just work real hard this year. I realistically want to do like 150,000 in gross sales across all platforms that I sell on. So, and I typically run about a 60 to 65% margin after fees and cost of goods. So, if I can stay at about 60% margin and do 150,000 in sales, I should have my house paid off, no problem.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I don't own a house here. I just rent. But me and Drew, we actually have a lot more in common. The more I talk to Drew, we have a lot more in common because I don't have a mortgage, but where I live at, my rent's like $350 a month. So it's like really super cheap. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because not a lot of people are doing the Dave Ramsey plan where they're trying to get their house paid off. So to me, that's pretty impressive. At your age to have a paid for house that you and your family can live in and, basically be debt free and not be stressed out about nothing. So the next thing we got to get into, tell me about the shed. Because last time we talked, I kind of, I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. I might have said something about it, but I did ask you about what you were going to be doing. So tell me a little bit about this shed that you just got. Tell us, how big it is, the color, the lighting the lighting situation. Tell us all about it, Drew. I'll put you on full screen.
So the shed's not fully done yet, but if you go on my YouTube channel, I have 2 videos with updates about buying the shed, and then actually like organizing it and taking all my inventory from my storage unit and putting it in the shed and getting everything like organized. So those are like the beginning stages. You can go check out those videos on my YouTube channel, but it is set up to have like electricity and stuff. I had an electrician kind of bail on me. So this week, hopefully that will be set up and I'll have lights and power in there. It's already wired for it. I just got to actually run cable underground from the shed to my breaker box and get that installed. And then my goal is to, when I built out the shed for my storage unit, I left enough space in the front of the shed. If you watch my videos, I left about an 8x10 space in the front of the shed that I plan on turning into like an office where I can do my listings, do my shipping, do live YouTube videos, and do all that kind of stuff. It should give me plenty of space to be able to do all that right there versus having to bring inventory, out of my shed into my office right here and then do my shipping. And I can do it all in the shed, kind of like what Lonnie does with garage flips. So, I want to be able to have that set up. I've got, I got my lighting kits right here. I got some light kits ordered that I'm going to be able to bring those into the shed and use those as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. But shed is a 12x30, and that actually has put us back a little bit on getting out of debt, because we decided that buying the shed was a better investment for this year than continuing to pay for the storage unit, considering we were outgrowing it. So we decided to pay cash for the shed, which we used from profits from selling on eBay from last year, and Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, all the different platforms that I sell. So, we paid cash for the shed, and now that we don't have any payments on things like that, we can focus on, hammering out the debt on our mortgage.
Yeah, Drew. Well, the thing is, it's kind of a double whammy, because now you're not paying a monthly fee for the storage unit anymore, and it saves you time because you have the shed in the backyard. You don't have to drive to a storage unit. And once you get everything organized and set up, I think it'll be a good investment for you long term. And now you got more space to add to your business to grow your store. So I wanted to say hi to the Carolina Hustler is in the chat. Wanted to say hi to the Ford North. Says also, time is money, and the shed will save you tons of time. That's what we were just saying. Yeah. Joey says, Drew, question, are you my best friend and why? and Carolina Hustler is here. He says, ask Drew how to look up van shoes. I sold a pair of peanuts, one for big money. He wants to know how to look up van shoes.
So Vans, there's a model number on the inside of the tag on the tongue, and it's normally like 721844 or something like that. And then you just have to start like learning if it's a low top, a high top, and then you put the colors in and stuff like that. Vans are pretty easy to look up. You just use that model number, and then if it's like a high rise shoe, you put high top. Or a lot of Vans are like the skate low, SK8, skate low, skate high. So you just have to do that. Sorry, there's a car driving by like really slow in front of my house, like kind of sketchy. So I don't know what's going on. What the heck? He's like stopped in front of my house. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on him from my window, but yeah, it's pretty simple. The same way you look up pretty much any other shoes, you use the model number on the tag. And Joey, yeah, you're pretty much my best friend right now.
All right, cool. I wanted to say hi to Vintage Vagabond Vins is in the house. Art Vandalay is here. Carolina Hustler. Flippy McFlipperson says, I don't know how you get it all done, Drew. He says, I think you get 32 hours in a day, and the rest of us only get 24 hours in a day.
Oh, man, no, absolutely not. I'm just I'm a night owl, so when a lot of people are sleeping, I'm just up working. But that's probably like where a lot of people, I guess, I don't want to say like fall off. That's not the right word, but a lot of people, some people are morning people. For example, Rinzi, they wake up at like 5 in the morning and they're at the bins. They get their shipping done, and then they're at the bins, or they're at their first thrift store by like 7 o'clock in the morning, right when they open. I'm up till 3 or 4 in the morning doing listings sometimes, just because I'm naturally, up that late. But yeah, Carolina Hustler, the shed is a tax write-off, which is great. I bought it right towards the end of the year, so I can use that towards, my taxes for 2020. And since I paid cash for it, it's just a great write-off for me. People are saying I'm being raided. Someone called SWAT on me. It's like a black BMW. Like, I don't know. It's just parked out in front of my house. Hopefully everything's okay.
All right, cool. We got Drifter Thrifters is here in the house. He says, good day. And then we got the online Christianpreneur says, Drew, enjoyed your channel and your podcast. Thank you for all the value that you offer. So tell people a little bit about your podcast that you have. If they haven't gone by to check it out, tell us what it's about, who's all in the podcast, when do you guys drop your new episodes? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I do a podcast with Josh, Harry Tornado, and Joey Bada Bing 22, your local mailman, and we just decided that we wanted to talk about reselling more than just making our regular YouTube videos and running our business. So once a week, we put out a video on Monday mornings, just talking about YouTube, reselling, life, and everything in between. We have a great time just talking, hanging out, and we have done, I think, 11 episodes at this point. So yeah, we're just really enjoying, talking about reselling. I always could talk about reselling. I could record a podcast every day. So, I just really enjoy doing that. But Josh and Joey are great. And I think we kind of mesh well together. Like if you listen to the podcast, we all, the first couple episodes took us getting used to like not interrupting each other and stuff. I'm usually the one interrupting them, but we really enjoy doing it together. So hopefully that grows.
Yeah, Drew, I'm a night owl person as well. I'm usually up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning working, and then usually I'll sleep till like noon. So people get mad at me, and I'm like, no, like you don't understand. That's my normal routine. When I used to work a factory job, I would work from like 4 o'clock at night to like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've did that for like 10 years. So now that I'm not working a factory job anymore, it's like my biological clock is set to go to bed at a certain time and get up at a certain time. There's nothing wrong with it. You can actually get a lot more work done at night because there's nobody. You can just close the door and get work mode in. You don't have anybody knocking on the door. No one's calling you. No one's texting you. Nobody needs anything. And you can just get in the zone and start listing stuff. So I wanted to say hi to Harry Humpstone is here. He says, hello, eBay addicts and profit monsters. We got Drifter Thrifter's here. He says, Drew should get into the interior decorating with that wall behind him. And Joey says he just sold a video game for $82.99. Bought it for $4, man. Let's go. And Ben Flippin' Goods is here, says, let's go. Harry Humpstone says, the nicest dude on YouTube, Joey Bada Bing. I thought he was going to say Drew.
Joey's way nicer than me. If you watched our live listing yesterday, it's just crazy. Like I just am so passionate about reselling that some people interpret my passion for anger or something like that, and it's just not that way. I just enjoy talking about it, and the process of reselling I feel is so important with resellers, and so many people don't want to talk about the details and the ins and outs of reselling. They just want to say, I bought a video game for $4 and sold it for $400, but they don't want to talk about like how long it took them to source on Facebook Market. Not that they don't want to talk about it, but people don't want to listen, I guess you could say, to the process. You have to go on Facebook Marketplace. You have to search. You have to message someone. You have to get declined. You have to get denied. You have to find the right deal. Then you have to drive out there. You have to pick it up. You got to make sure it's in good condition. Then you got to bring it back. If it's something that you have to test, like a Guitar Hero set, you got to test it, make sure it works, then take pictures and list it. Like there's a lot more than just, I bought a water bottle for $1 and I sold it for 10, and so those are the things that I like talking about is the details. I see like Anfisa and Carolina Hustler are both talking about having kids. And it's definitely hard to get work done during the day. I agree. That's why I'm most productive at night, is because my kids are asleep. Normally my wife goes to bed probably like 10 or 11. So, by the time she's in bed, I get, 3-4 hours of really just like hardcore focused work in the office where I just sit here and do my listings, and once I have my shed ready to go, it's like, boom, baby, like I'm ready to go. But yeah, having kids makes a big difference. I've got a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So luckily my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom. I'm full-time reseller. So like I am the sole provider for the family. And I wouldn't have it any other way. My wife loves taking care of the kids and spending time with them, watching them, teaching them. Asher goes to school for a couple hours a day. And then we pick him up and, we make it work. That's just, you got to make it work. There's just, no excuses.
So Drew, I never asked you that. So does she support your reselling adventures? Like, does she help you take photos or list, or does she just let you do all that? Does she just say, hey, just get all this junk out of the house and put it in the shed? Do you guys fight and argue about it? Or does she just be like, hey, you know what? You're gonna be in the driver's seat and I'll be in the passenger seat and take care of the kids. Like, tell me, because I'm not married and I don't have any kids. So take us behind the curtain. Tell us with the ins and outs, how that works for you. And go ahead, talk about that, Drew.
Yeah, I wanted to just say too, congratulations to Aces. He said he sold a police scanner, paid $2.99 and sold for $80. That's awesome. Congratulations. But yeah, my relationship with my wife is amazing. She's my best friend, and we do everything together. We've owned multiple businesses before being a reseller, so it hasn't really been any type of like conflict of interest, if that makes sense. She loves supporting me, and she knows that I'm going to do whatever it takes to provide for my family. So she believes in me. She trusts in me. She trusts the process. Sometimes it's long days, long nights, making YouTube videos, editing the videos, uploading them, listing, sourcing, taking pictures, but we make it work. And, I do everything. If I needed help, she would do it. Or if like I was gone for a day, she would, pull my orders if I needed her to. But, I do it all. I don't really ask her to do much. Just because she's taking care of the kids, and that's a full-time job in itself. So, I just think that we make a really good team. She's my best friend. And when I had the storage unit, though, before we bought the shed, I had some of my inventory in my office, and then I had some inventory in the living room. And that was obviously like a little bit of a frustration because, she wants the house, clean and presentable and stuff like that. So, she was really happy when we got the shed, to say the least, to get that inventory out of the living room.
Yeah, awesome. I wanted to say hi to Jimmy from Old School Flips. He just popped his head in, said Drew with like 5 exclamation marks. So Drew's a popular guy. They got a bunch of people in the chat. So if you have a question for Drew, drop it in the chat. I got a couple of questions for you, Drew. How do you go about balancing your time? Because remember we had Tesla Picker on a couple months ago, and you told Dave that he was like a cyborg. So how do you go ahead balancing everything that you're doing, shooting YouTube videos, doing reselling, you have your real estate agent license, and you still have to be a family man and take care of your family and take them out to vacations and trips and all that stuff. And you still got to eat and sleep. So how do you go about doing that without like transforming into like the Terminator, like part RoboCop or something? Tell us how you balance all that, because we have people in the chat saying you have an unfair advantage that you have 32 hours in a day. So tell us how do you go about doing this?
I mean, man, it's just hustle. I love what I do, and I'm passionate about it. So, I'm more, of a night owl, like I said. So I don't go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 7 in the morning every day. But I'm just passionate about what I do. I love being a reseller. I love the process. I love listing. I love shipping. I love making YouTube videos. I love being part of the reseller community. I love sharing knowledge. I love being on Instagram, and having a community on there of resellers who enjoy my content. And man, it's just a drive. You gotta just get that, that fire up inside of you. There's really no other way to describe it other than you just got to be passionate. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're gonna what's the word? You're gonna dredge it. Is that the right word? Anfisa, yeah, she said it's all worth ethic. You either have it or you don't. Like, it's just hard work ethic. And, one of the things that keeps me the most motivated, if this helps answer a question, is, I just want to provide for my family. I want to give them the best life possible. I want them to always have what they want. I don't want my family to think that, we have to go to McDonald's because we can't afford a nice dinner. Now there's obviously budgeting and, saving money in certain times, but I just want to work hard so that I can give my family everything that, they could ever imagine. I don't want them to ever feel like, we can't do something because of money. And so, I'm just motivated by that. I'm motivated by, just wanting to influence and encourage other people. I just want to, not necessarily change the world, but I want to help other people. So, I just have that drive, that, the work ethic that's like, okay, if I can be a hardworking person and make these numbers on eBay, and I'm just like a guy, like I have no talents, I can't sing, I can't dance, I'm not a construction worker, I can't weld, I'm not a painter, I can't draw, like you just go through like talents of what people have, like, all these different jobs out there. Like, I don't have any desire to, go to school for 8 years to be a doctor. I'm thankful for doctors, but it's just not for me. So, when it comes down to all that, it's just work ethic and hard work. Anybody can go to Goodwill and find a pair of shoes for $5 to $10 and flip them for 30 to 40 on eBay and just do it over and over and over again. And once you get more comfortable with items and products, you just get more excited about it. And yeah, man, I just love the hustle. I love the treasure hunt. I love the thrill of working for myself, not having to clock in and clock out. Not talk to a boss. I'm my own boss. I do my own taxes. Like, I just don't have to talk to anybody. So yeah, I just love about it, man.
Well, it's just the truth. Most of the time, if somebody is like one thing or the other, like they're a full-time real estate agent, or they're a full-time reseller, or they're a YouTuber, or they have a podcast, or they're a family person, they don't do 5 things at once. So I was just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to say hi to Two Dudes Picking, just stopped by to hang out with us. And I want to say hi to Wendy in the chat. So, hey, we appreciate you guys coming by. We got online Christian Benur. He says, hey, Joey, bada bing, let's go. And I think I missed some questions here. He says, Drew, what is your normal sourcing strategy, daily and weekly? And I think I might have had another question that I missed. If you want to go ahead and answer that one. Yeah, we have a question from Wendy. She says, what is your biggest lesson or legacy that you want to pass on to your kids? I'll put you back on full screen. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, sorry. Give me just six seconds here. This is really embarrassing, but I'm dealing with this real estate stuff. So, all right, I'm done. I promise. Okay, what was the question? Can you put it up on the screen?
So your first question is, Drew, what is your normal sourcing strategy, daily and weekly? They want to know how you go about sourcing and getting merchandise to resell on eBay.
All right, so the 2 biggest things that I'm doing right now is Facebook Marketplace pickups and flea markets. I'm going to the flea markets every Saturday, and I'm coming home with big hauls. I'm buying a lot of stuff at one time, and I'm bringing it home, and then I'm listing it throughout the week. And then I casually go to thrift stores throughout the week if I get a lot of my listings done. But I buy a lot of stuff at flea markets. I find a lot of good deals there. So, and they're open, every weekend in Florida. So that's an advantage I have that a lot of people don't because of snow and winter and, cold weather and stuff like that. But I love the flea markets. There's 2 of them in my area, about 30 minutes each direction, like north and south. So I kind of switch back and forth between the 2 of them. And then I love Facebook Marketplace pickups. You can make a lot of money on Facebook Marketplace. Video games, I sell a lot of Guitar Hero and Rock Band stuff from picking up on Facebook. But I don't have a very set schedule. Like Mondays I go to Ross, Tuesdays I go to thrift stores, Wednesdays I list, Thursdays I just don't do that. Like me is if I don't like having death piles. So if I get my stuff listed throughout the week, then I go source more. Or if I have a Facebook Marketplace opportunity, I picked up some stuff on Facebook Marketplace that was way out in Tavares, which is 45 minutes away from me, and I thrifted on the way home, so I maximize my time. There was 3 thrift stores on the way home from that Facebook pickup. So I stopped at those thrift stores and then I pick up inventory that way too. But I don't really have a specific sourcing strategy that's weekly. It's kind of different depending on how much inventory I have or how much inventory I need.
Okay, Drew, we had a question from Wendy. She says, what is your biggest lesson or legacy that you want to pass on to your kids in the future?
I mean, the biggest legacy that I want to leave to my kids is that I was a godly father to them, and that I led them spiritually, and I raised them up to believe in themselves, to know that they can do anything that they want to do, and that I'll always be there for them. That's probably the most important, is that I don't want them to ever feel like that they can't be anything that they want to be. And I want, obviously, them to be, trained up and raised up, through biblical principles of my faith, of our faith. So, I think that's most important, is faith for me. And then second would be that they can be anything they want to be. And if they work hard enough for it, they can have it. So.
Drew, so we got to get back to reselling here, because I think I had maybe $200-300 in sales over the weekend. You had $2,000 in sales. So you got to give us some advice, because, well, I have a full-time job that I work, and you just a full-time reseller. So you probably, that's your main source of income is reselling. So tell somebody maybe 3 or 4 tips off the top of your head that would help somebody grow their reselling business if they want to make more money, if they want to start having $2,000 weekends, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have $2,000 in sales. What are things that they need to do to help grow the reselling business? You have tips, tricks, strategy, sourcing techniques, go ahead and give it to us, Drew. I'll put you back on full screen.
Sure. I mean, off the top of my head, without like thinking about it for a long time, I'd say the few main things are list every day. You know, if you're not listing every day, you know, you're missing out on opportunities there. Always look up comps for stuff before you buy it. Like, don't just go unless you know the item. Like, I don't have to look up comps on Rock Band and Guitar Hero stuff anymore because I know if I can get it for under $10 a guitar, I can sell it for minimum $40. But most of the time they sell for more than that. But like, always look up comps. Don't just go buy a Vineyard Vines Polo because it's Vineyard Vines, because that model may not have a very good sell-through rate, or may not be selling for a lot of money, or, you know, you just never know. You don't want to go to Marshall's and pay $12 for a Vineyard Vines shirt that's selling for $18 after fees. And if you offer free shipping, you're going to lose money. So make sure that you're always looking up comps on stuff that you pick up before you do. That's a really good tip. Always list, and list every day. And, you know, I would say just like hustle. I mean, you gotta want it more than the next person. Like, if you see the same people at thrift stores every time you go, then you can probably assume that they're there more than you. So if thrifting is more of how you get your inventory, then I recommend that you start going to the same thrift stores 2 times a week, or I'm sorry, 2 times a day instead of 1 time a day. You go first thing in the morning and you go before they close, you know, or something like that. You know, just figure out hustle depending on where you live. If you are sitting at home going, my thrift stores have nothing in my area, they've got crap, then get on Facebook Marketplace and start looking for certain stuff that you can buy. I mean, I know we were talking about in our podcast, Joey, Josh, and I, about, was it the podcast or in last night's live? I can't remember, but we were talking about, you know, a guy who made $1 million on Amazon buying stuff on eBay that was already tested and working. For example, buying a DVD combo unit on eBay for $80 and then selling it on Amazon for $200. The guy doesn't do any sourcing outside of going on eBay and finding items that people are selling low where he can sell them high on Amazon. And he made $1 million doing that. So if somebody can make $1 million sitting on their computer all day buying stuff on eBay and reselling it on Amazon, nobody should have any excuse for saying that there's no inventory. And if there is no inventory, sell your house and move. Like, there's just no excuse. I'm just a no excuse kind of guy. So, you know, if you're one of those people that says, you know, you check OfferUp, you check Facebook, you check thrift stores, you check garage sales, and they're all crap, then you need to maybe move to a different area if you want to be a full-time reseller.
Yeah, well, there's other ways that you can source besides like in the wintertime. Well, some states, they can't go to yard sales when it's wintertime, but there's thrift stores, there's flea markets, there's estate sales. You know, I go to a lot of pawn shops. If you guys follow me, like I went to the other day to this pawn shop, bought a video game for 50 cents. It sold within 24 hours for $30. So you can go to pawn shops. You have retail arbitrage. You go to the clearance section at Walmart. You can also do online arbitrage. If you guys follow me, I just recently got a big box. I think I bought 400 CDs or something for like $180. So your buy cost is like 45 cents a piece. You can turn 45 cents into, let's say, $10, $15. Let's say it's $10 times 400 items. That's $4,000 worth of merchandise. And I spent $180 to do that. So there's other ways that you can source. Don't just walk in and walk out and have, like, you know, your tail between your legs because you didn't find something at one thrift store. Just keep looking. There's you know, also there's church has their own like little thrift stores. If you go like behind the building at some of these churches, they have their own little thrift stores there that's not really marketed or advertised, but you can find some really good deals there. Like Drew's wearing a hat. Sometimes they'll have hats there for 50 cents and you can sell them for 10, 15, $20 on eBay. So there's other sourcing strategies besides just yard sales or just going to thrift stores. You just got to think outside of the box. So I wanted to say hi to Chris Toys Treasures here. He says, I love that these lives are done in your car. The man is always on the move. Yeah, guys, I work for a courier company. So when we get done with this live, I got to grab something to eat. And then I work for a courier company. I got to go downtown Tampa and I got to go work for the Toronto Raptors. And they have to go get tested for the virus. And then I have to go take their test samples all the way to the east coast of Florida and drop them off. So they have contracts with the NBA, Tampa Bay Lightning, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if they don't get their tested and everything doesn't clear, they don't get to take the field. So they're not going to be happy if this guy they paid $30 million to doesn't take the basketball court because he didn't get his test. So
Yeah.
I wanted to say hi to BK from the Rockies, 3Gen Hustle. I wanted to say hi to you, bro. I just checked out your channel, man. I subscribed yesterday, so keep up the good work. I honestly didn't even know you had a channel. Looks like you just started recently, so keep hustling, man. I wanted to say hi to BK from the Rockies. Two Dudes Picking is here. Carolina Hustler, Philly Picker, Far North Thrift. And guys, if I missed your question in the chat, you have to go ahead and get back to Drew. We're running out of time. Drew has got to go meet up with his family and go have dinner, and I haven't eaten all day either. I got to get something to eat. So, Drew, give me your final thoughts. Tell everybody where they can find you at on YouTube and Instagram. I have your links dropped in the description. Go ahead.
Sure. There was one question. I'll answer it real quick. It's from Julian, 3Gen Hustle. So, as a full-timer with a family, how do you handle health insurance? We use a program through it's a Christian health share program. It's called Samaritan Ministries. Basically, the way that it works is like as a Christian, I guess you could say, like if you're plugged in with a church, it's like a health share system where you send your health insurance payment, it's called a share, to somebody else who actually is in need of that. So instead of you paying to the government and then whenever you need money back for health insurance reasons, they give you the payout, you get a letter every month, a statement that says, Mike in Arizona had to get surgery and his payment was $32,000 and your payment is helping him make that, pay that off. And so you're never actually giving money to any government. You're actually sending it directly to people who need it. And then if you have a need, you put in like a request, just like with health insurance, but the deductible is a little higher. So like dental and stuff like that is not really covered. So we pay cash for those types of things. But if we ever had like an issue with a hospital or, a sickness or something like that, we would put in a request through Samaritan Ministries and then they would send that payment out, through other supporters of the health insurance. My wife can explain it a lot better than I can, but I know that like we pay other people, and then if we have a need, we pay them. And then like once a month, you send your monthly payment to the actual company called Samaritan, and that month is what they use for their entire year's budget to pay for all their employees, to pay for all their lights and bills and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really cool program. And we love it. So we haven't had any issues with it. The prices are very fair, and we have all our needs covered for medical and health, other than the basics, like I said, like dental and stuff. But yeah, you guys can find me on my YouTube channel at Profit Monsters right here. You can find me on Instagram at Drew_thrifts and flips. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I'm always willing to help, always willing to share. And thank you to everybody that's hanging out. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've enjoyed the content. So I just want to provide value in these lives.
All right, awesome, Drew. Give me your final thoughts, man. If somebody wants to help grow their reselling business, would you recommend they go out and buy a shed? I mean, what do they need to do to grow their business? So tell us the backstory. Tell us the secret.
Man, if you want to grow your business, you just got to work hard. You can literally run a business from a 300 square foot apartment if you have the hustle for it. So, yeah, just have motivation. Don't give up. Don't quit. If something's not working, stop doing that and try doing something else. As far as reselling, like if DVDs are not selling for you, stop buying DVDs and go look at the shoes. If you're not enjoying shoes, go look on Facebook Marketplace for video games. Find something that works for you and grow that until you can branch out and start doing other categories. That's how I did. I started with clothing and started branching out from there, then selling video games and selling shoes, then getting into hard goods, pots and pans, DVD combo units, kids' toys, all sorts of stuff. So, just educate yourself and work hard.
Yeah, the big thing, guys, is you have to be able to reinvest your money back in your business. Like Drew just had $2,000 in sales over the weekend, and I bet a good portion of that he's going to have to reinvest to buy more merchandise because you have to restock the shelves or your sales are going to go down. So I wanted to say hi to Cali Reseller Lewis. We got Brum, reseller here in the chat. And I wanted to say hi to Mo from the reseller niche. So, hey, thank you guys for stopping by. We appreciate you. I'm going to let Drew go so he can have dinner with his family. And I'm going to get to work. And you guys get busy. Get listening. Get to work. Because I want to have you guys on the show and ask you how you made $2,000 in a weekend, right? So y'all have a great day, man. I'll see you guys soon. And I want to thank our guest, Drew, for hanging out with us. Bye, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Catch you later. Bye.